On the night of July 7, 2026, inside a government-run residential school in Lohardaga, Jharkhand, a snake entered a ground-floor dormitory. 4 sleeping students were bitten. 1 died during treatment. Another, in critical condition, had to be rushed away from the remote district to the Rajendra Institute of Medical Sciences in the state capital. The remaining 2 students were treated at a local facility. Within a week, the National Human Rights Commission took suo motu cognizance, issuing a notice to the state's chief secretary demanding a comprehensive report. Public outrage often follows an event like this, but to actually prevent the next one, we have to move beyond the immediate shock and conduct a structured evaluation of the administrative machinery that allowed it to happen. When a child dies inside a state-run facility, it indicates a breakdown in the state's fundamental duty to protect its citizens. As the district education officer, you are the lead investigator for this incident. Every fact you record in your report will be weighed against the highest standards of administrative accountability. Your investigation quickly uncovers that the school's administration had received prior complaints about the poor state of the hostel building, but took no concrete action to repair it. You also find that despite the school's remote location, there was no emergency transport protocol in place, and the local medical kit lacked antivenom. Now, the pressure is compounding. The media is scrutinizing every detail. The victim's impoverished family is desperate for justice, and your senior officers are directly asking you to dilute your final report to shield the department from NHRC scrutiny. A DEO in this position faces a choice between protecting the department's reputation or exposing the vulnerabilities that led to a citizen's death. Let's look at the source text for this case. Notice the specific classification here. This is a residential school. This invokes the legal and ethical doctrine of in loco parentis. The state is acting in the place of a parent, assuming total, direct guardianship over these students while they live on campus. Because the state is acting as the parent, ignoring prior maintenance complaints elevates this from a clerical oversight to active negligence. Add to this the geographic reality. The school is isolated, and the text explicitly highlights a lack of resources and a significant distance to the nearest major hospital. These students come from economically weaker sections. Placing them in a remote area without a rapid medical access plan creates a massive gap in equity and social justice. When the government assumes a parental role but fails to provide localized resources, it violates the constitutional equity owed to its most vulnerable citizens. As the investigating officer, you're now caught in a specific tension matrix: institutional loyalty on one side and objective integrity on the other. Your superiors want to downplay the severity of the negligence. Their motivation is to mitigate the department's liability and avoid the heavy hand of the NHRC. But you also have a direct obligation to the deceased student's family. They have zero political leverage and rely entirely on the state to provide both the true account of what happened and the necessary financial support. Administrative compassion manifests through the pursuit of an honest record. For a family with no political leverage, the accuracy of your report is the only guarantee of the support they are owed. Prioritizing a department's public relations over an accurate account of a child's death ensures that these same systemic failures will remain hidden. We can map out 3 distinct paths available to the DEO: dilute the report, submit the factual report, or evade the issue through silence. Option 1, diluting the report, immediately appeases your superiors and protects the department's image in the short term. However, burying the facts leaves the deadly infrastructure in place. You are effectively accepting the risk of future casualties and violating your oath of office. Option 3, evasion or delay, is a total abandonment of the victim and the institution's responsibilities. That leaves option 2, submitting an unbiased, factual report. This provides the NHRC with the actionable data needed to force actual infrastructure repairs. It also leads to inevitable career friction and a direct confrontation with departmental leadership. Reporting the unvarnished truth carries significant personal risk, but it is the only path that prioritizes human life over bureaucratic comfort. The resolution is clear. The DEO must submit a fact-based report to both the state government and the NHRC. Next, the restorative justice process begins. This requires securing prompt ex gratia financial compensation for the victim's family to support them through the immediate aftermath. Finally, immediate trauma counseling must be provided for the surviving students and staff who were present during the event. Transparent action is the only way to stop the institutional decline and start restoring public trust in the district's administration. Beyond the local crisis in Lohardaga, we need to consider a long-term architecture that prevents recurrence across the state. The first structural fix is mandating recurring safety and infrastructure audits for all residential welfare schools. Logistically, every remote hostel requires localized emergency kits containing antivenom, paired with dedicated rapid transport protocols. The bureaucracy also needs a time-bound grievance redressal mechanism to ensure that maintenance logs can no longer be ignored by the administration. Combining these three pillars replaces reactive damage control with a baseline of safety that persists across leadership changes. The final duty of a public administrator is the protection of the citizen. A department's image can never be prioritized over a human life.